Hello and welcome to a not review for To Your Scattered Bodies Go by Philip Jose Farmer. Philip Jose Farmer was a hit or miss for me when I was young. I read a lot of him in my 20s because it was everywhere. Some of it was really good. Some of it got pretty strange and very niche. So after a while, I kind of backed away from Farmer, and I didn't have any of his books recently in the last couple of years when I started rereading a lot of SFF. So, Weird Balloon Man, floating over the first book in the Riverworld series by Philip Jose Farmer. I read it this month as a buddy read with Chris from Over in Liminal Spaces, and I'm going to post a link to the excellent discussion and review that we did together about this one. I'm just going to say a couple of things I forgot to mention. I may have mentioned actually this in our chat. I'm not actually sure if I've ever read this book before or not. I feel like I did years ago when I was in my farmer phase, but I didn't really remember it well, and back then I would have been too basically ignorant to get a lot of the references, so I think even if I have read it before, I got a lot more out of it this time. It was a really interesting book, and I won't go too much more into it. I'm just going to say that I did write myself a note while reading it, which I didn't mention with Chris. Historically speaking, some of the things that Farmer's put in here are no longer current knowledge, and I think I mentioned that. Later in the book, there's actually a section of Riverworld where there's Norse gods sacrificing people to Odin. And I just remember, I put this note in there, it's very unlikely that you would have been finding Norse gods sacrificing anyone to Odin in 1625, because by the 10th century, they were pretty much all Christian. And 1625, in any case, would have been way, way outside Odin worship. So that's a point I made, and I also made a humorous comment that a character in here called Frigate is actually like the Google for Sir Richard Francis Burton, who's the main character in here. Anyway, go ahead and watch this wonderful discussion I had with Chris. It was great fun buddy reading with him, and it was great fun reviewing with him. I hope we get to do that again sometime. And if you see this, Chris, thank you so much for doing all the tech and editing work, which I'm too lazy to learn how to do. Okay, all of you, have a great day. There may not be many reviews from me for a few days. I am stuck in a very slow reading book, which is Worlds by Joe Haldeman. I'm not disliking it, but it's not a fast read. And my other one on at the moment is Neuromancer, and I'm listening to that. I'm reading that with my ears because it's an audiobook, great audiobook, but it's taking a while. Okay, have a great day. Read good books.